All aboard, it's Jang here with a look at the Playmobil Cruise Ship from their Family Fun line. This ship is enormous. It is around 29 inches or 74 centimeters long, and the largest portion of it comes kind of pre-assembled in the box. It's just absolutely huge with the whole hull and this upper section as well. Unfortunately though, unlike it appears, this will not float in the water. And that's because the other side is completely open to let you get in there and play within it relatively easily. However, even just that alone is not all that they do to let you get in here and play and really put the figures into these places. They have this shelf down below to allow you to get the entire underdeck area pulled out. So it really becomes more of like a building, like an open building, and it's all about kind of the scenarios within the ship that you can play within. That's kind of cool, although I wish you could have made it float. Let's take a look at some of the details. Start from the top and we'll work our way down. The very top of the ship, as you see, is usable. It's a sun deck or a tanning deck. So they give you one lounge chair. Would have been nice to get two lounge chairs up there so you can have a pair of people. But if you have other furniture, you can always bring that up here. They've got the smokestack for the engine. They've got a little mast here for a flag, antenna, light, and a radar bar there. This is weird. This piece is basically loose. It just kind of slots in there, but that's just a weird little thing. You can also remove this section of the roof to get better access to the interior because the rest of this roof does not come off so easily. I want to show you something important about this whole side of the ship. Basically, the only detail that's here is the gangway, the staircase to allow figures to get in. So you can just imagine the ship comes right up to port and it comes right up to the dock, and then your people can just walk right up there. That's good. You can also remove this though. So once you are underway and out of port, you can pull that out completely, store it somewhere else, and then close this door. It becomes part of just the whole window panes there. So that looks elegant. At the front of the ship, the bow, they have a single large window which gives you a nice view into the cabin. The control cabin there would be better looking with more figures in there as well. This is just a sticker to simulate some windows. They have a life preserver ring, and they also have some life preserver vests that are in this storage here. This is a smart use of space. So they give you 3 of these adult-sized ones that have the 2 colors each. Those look good, and they give you 2 of the child-sized ones. So everybody that's included in this set gets covered from the perspective of safety, and when you're not using these, you have a convenient place to store them. At the back of the boat, meanwhile, they have another important device for safety, the lifeboat here, and this is on a lowering crane or boom setup, so that can be brought down to the surface level, and of course this can be just cast off on its own. Most of the time I found that this piece tends to stay in there. It doesn't look so good with that green piece in there, but this will actually float. Unlike the ship, this part will float. You can turn the oars off to the sides, and you can fit maybe 3 people in here, maybe a little bit more if you kind of squeeze them together, but I think 3 is the limits to get them in here comfortably. As we transition to the interior, obviously there's this large spiraling slide along the back, and a figure can just slide down there. Now they do not need to go up to the roof level to get to this. I actually have the sandals on this guy right now, so he doesn't slide all that well, but that's okay. But he's going to use stairs back over here, so you'll be able to see that better from the other side. But that's how he gets up here, so it's not as unsafe as it looks. And you got these tall sides around here to keep him from falling off the back. This pool can actually be filled up with water. Now right now it has a texture in it just by default, so you don't have to do anything for that. There's no sticker or anything. It's a real texture, but you can put some water in there to actually play with it a little bit more realistically. And then we get to the proper interior, the main interior deck here, which does use a number of stickers to give you some floor texture, or the look of a floor texture, with hardwood strakes back there, and then just a little bit different color for the dining and entertaining area here in the center, which makes for a nice pattern, especially when there isn't so much stuff there. But I wanted to show you as many of the accessories as reasonably possible. They have a service kind of bar back there where you can order drinks and food, and everything that you'll see in this video is included in this set. And I've just kind of distributed some of the accessories around. You kind of want to have an employee to work there to provide some service. All these chairs are included. You can put some of those up on the top if you want to expand, the ability for more people to enjoy the sun. Again, more food-related items, and there's also a service deck, or service desk, I should say, at the back. Let me pull that out. This is kind of an arch-shaped desk, and it has a computer built into it. A sticker is used to represent the keyboard and mouse, and they have a ledger there, or a physical calendar book, and can't really hold that in the hand of a figure or anything, but it just sits there as an extra detail. Here you can see into the control cabin or bridge where the captain is right now, but to see that better you need to really look from the top. There's not a lot physically in this room, but that one sticker has a ton of detail, and if you use your imagination, you can come up with a lot of things to do up here. Now let's talk about the passenger cabins or staterooms down on the lowermost floor. As you see, there is a spiral staircase for figures to get access down there, and the idea here is that you'd come from the entertainment deck back down to your stateroom. I think there's supposed to be a wall here. You have to kind of imagine that there is a wall here and access doors. They didn't physically bring those in there, so you have to use your imagination a bit for that, because this is, I believe, supposed to be one room. This is supposed to be another, but in this case, they've got 2 passenger adults, 2 passenger children in the set, so the suggestion is that it's 2 rooms that are connected for one whole family. So the kids can sleep here. These are beds that are set up really for them, but you can use them with adult figures as well. And they're just offset a little bit. Each room gets a cordless phone to use, and you get a small bathroom space back there. This is actually, I think, the better bathroom space, so maybe the adults would want to take this side now that I think about it. There's a little bit of storage in a cabinet down below, and the actual toilet is back there. It's tough to see. It's tucked all the way back. Sorry about the focus, but it's tucked all the way back in the corner. When you look at the other room, that one also has a bathroom that's tucked way back in the corner, but it's a little bit easier to get to, a little bit easier to see. There's nothing else that you can remove here to get access back in there. You also get a little bit of storage with the sink on that side, but not as much counter space with that. Instead, you get counter space that's kind of connected to the beds here, and this is a bed set up for 2 people to sleep side by side. Again, however you want to divvy up the rooms is up to you. I really appreciate those stickers behind to represent the windows to the outside. I think they really add a lot of character to this room, and I'm glad that they didn't just repeat the same sticker across, so it looks like a continuous scene. And I think that's supposed to be showing the sun rising as opposed to going down, but you can use, again, your imagination to set the time whenever you want. And that's pretty much it for details on this entire ship. Let's look at the figures. Again, it's 2 adult passengers and 2 child passengers, as well as the captain of the ship. And I think all of these look absolutely appropriate for the setting, as long as you're thinking of a warm weather setting. The skirt piece on the female passenger figure there can be removed to put her into kind of a bathing suit so she can go have fun in the pool or go up on the tanning deck as well. I really like the torso prints for the kids, and I like the entire setup for the captain. It's not too complex in terms of plastic molds or anything, but I do like the collar piece that they gave him, and he also has the crests on the sides, and I like the print for his torso as well. So all this looks good to me. There's not much to be seen from the backs of these, just a little bit of detail for the female passenger, but otherwise nothing unexpected. And I am showing you the last of the accessories that I did not show you already on the ship, and that's just it. Also related to the cruise ship is this set here, Singer with Stage. Not included with the cruise ship unless you buy both of them at the same time. This is specifically designed to be able to fit into the middle deck of the cruise ship, so they give you just a little sample of how that would work, so you can add some additional entertainment into that space and kind of fill up the space a little bit more. I will cover this set in a separate review because this will work as a standalone, but I will show you in context in the ship when I do that video as well. Well, that is positively immense. I mean, just look at the size of the box here relative to the size of one of the figures. 146 pieces. Most of the pieces that you actually have to assemble here are really loose ones that are used for small accessories. You do put in some of the major things, some of the major furniture, some of the railings and such, but really most of the ship proper does come pre-assembled, and I actually didn't mind that very much. This works out pretty well for getting access to actually play with the thing. It's very important to be able to get the figures in there and to get good use of this over time. I personally would have preferred at least just one panel to go on the side when you push this whole lower section in. If you had just one blue panel, even if it stuck out a little bit, it would have been nicer to make it feel a little bit more like it could float in the water. But the idea is that you have to imagine the water line being down here, but it would have been nicer to have a little extra push to help with that. I'm fine with the fact that it does not physically float because it's so huge. There's no way they could have made this thing actually float. It's also very heavy. It would need a very large counterweight keel. Yeah, there are just physical limitations at play there, so I'm not sad about that. I do like the look of it from this side as well, but especially when the stairs are up there, the gangway is up there. When you take those away, it does start to look a little bit plain. So there are a lot of kind of compromises that needed to be made for this design, and honestly, I understand all of them. Even if I'm not completely comfortable with them, they do make sense to me. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied with this thing. Its size alone is just really impressive and definitely gives you plenty of space to do different things, to come up with different scenarios on your own. So that's it for my look at this particular set. As I said, I will show you the Singer with Stage set in a separate video, and I'll also bring it into this ship once I have it done. And I'll be talking to you again as soon as I can. Until then, thanks so much for watching.